All right, everybody. It took me a couple of seconds to get it all right and get it all done today. Derrick Pearson is with me as always. And you know what? I think we're going to deviate a little bit from our normal uplifting and awesome talks that we have. We'll do it a little bit of that too, but we'll also talk a little bit about what the man's specialty is, and that's analyzing sports. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, the coach, Derrick Pearson. What's up, D?
What's happening? What's happening?
How you doing, man?
It's another day in paradise, man.
Did y'all get some more snow?
No. We getting good weather now. We had a good weekend. High was about 88. It'll drop down to 44 and then back up to 88 again. So,
well, a couple of buddies. I mean, my buddy Jeff Fitzgerald was going to be flying into Denver, and they had massive weather issues. I guess maybe it wasn't snow.
Yeah, Denver's been getting it. So as long as it stays on that side of the mountain, I'm okay with
it. Yeah, I hear you. You know, I don't know if I ever told you when we took our trip to Colorado, my buddy and I, a couple of years ago. We were driving and we had to go to Ottumwa, Iowa. He's a big MASH fan, you know. So we spent the night at the Fairview Inn or whatever there. And then we came into Nebraska, and we're rolling it. We came to this little bridge to go into Nebraska with this little Nebraska little hut or something, like they used to do tolls there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. And we went across the bridge and we got on the highway and we're starting to roll out. And we're in at 70, you know, so we're zooming at like 75 or 80 or something like that. And we went straight across, all the way across Nebraska. As we're pulling into Colorado, there's big sign says 70 miles per hour. We enforce our speed limit. And it's funny because when we got back to work, I was working at the Senate and I saw Hagan or what was the guy's name? He used to be a senator in Nebraska.
I don't know anybody that's not here now.
I saw him on the train and I said, "Hey, Senator, I noticed when I told him about my little trip, and he kind of just smiled and laughed. I said, so they don't enforce the speed limit. If I'd known that, I'd been going a hell of a lot faster than I was going."
Yeah, they enforce it. It's just weird. Normally it's for folks, usually folks with out-of-state tags get enforced. That's especially if it's California, Florida, or New York. Those are the ones that they tend to pay a little bit more attention to.
I dropped my butt when we were in Colorado. My cousins lived there and stuff. And when we were in Colorado, I took my buddy. He was going to spend the night in Denver at a hotel, a friend of his. And I mean, she works in the hotel business, so did he. So that's how they know each other. But so I dropped him off, and I'm getting back on the highway, and the traffic is crazy. Brake lights, everything's going. I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? And the only way for me to get on was to slide in behind this truck. And then I slid over. Next thing I know, I've got blue lights in my rearview mirror. We're not even speeding. I mean, the traffic is not going fast. So I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I came back over and then over again. And there was a motor cop sitting on the friggin' side. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if my mom, she would have run him over. But I was like, whoa, and I missed him. And then I pulled over. Lady cop came. She goes up to me and says, you have any idea why I pulled you over? I said, no, I really don't, because I know I wasn't speeding. She said, we're having traffic safety day or whatever, and you were following that truck too closely. I said, I just merged onto the highway. I said, you got to be kidding me. So she's like going, you can take it to court if you want. I said, did you look at my license plate? It's from Virginia. I'm not going to be here in 3 days. She's like, I'm very sorry. You can, whatever. Then she says, where's your proof of insurance? And I said, I don't know. It's on my tag. Because if in Virginia, you can't have a license plate unless you have insurance.
Right.
She's like going, well, in Colorado, you have to carry proof of insurance. I said, well, again, if you might notice, my license plate is from Virginia. So I'm sorry that I didn't know that. And I have registration and everything. If I have a registration, I have insurance in Virginia. That's the way it is. In fact, they will revoke your insurance, your registration if you lose your insurance. So I said, I don't know what else to tell you. All right, well, I'll let that slide. I said, don't do me any favors. I mean, I was pissy. I mean, I'm a big cop fan, okay? But I was pissy. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, God. Anyway.
It's what my stepdad was a DC cop. And he said, everybody's a cop fan until they're there for them.
No, normally I don't have any argument. If I'm speeding, I get pulled over, that's on me. I don't have any argument. I say, sorry about that, officer. Whatever. I just let it go because it's not, I understand. I got caught, whatever. But this was ridiculous. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way I was, illegally following too closely. It wasn't like I was being reckless,
Yeah, he would tell me the stories. He goes, everybody disagrees when it comes to what they feel like they're entitled to. He goes, I enforce what the law is. Everything else is none of my business.
That's true too. I know that about the cops. They're just enforcing the law. They say you might have a good argument. Go talk to the judge. That's what she basically said. But I was like, but ma'am, I'm not going to be here because believe me, I would have gone to court. But I'm not flying back out to Denver just for a court date.
No, that's how it works. They understand how they get you. It's like, okay, that's how it works.
And, they probably all said, "Well, okay, today's traffic safety day. Everybody has to write 20 tickets." Who knows? I know they don't have quotas per se, but that's the kind of instance where I think they probably did say, "All right, everybody, 20 tickets each."
You were number 19, man. That's just how it works.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so I want to ask you a couple questions, man. I was watching Get Up this morning. Do you watch Get Up?
I generally stay out of other people's sports shows.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I like Get Up, though. They do a pretty good job. Greeny does a pretty good job of spreading around and asking the right questions. And, it's not stupid. Sometimes you watch these guys and they just rehash the same damn thing all the time. But they're pretty good. I don't know. I like them. I like to watch them when I get a chance. I barely ever get a chance to watch them. But when I do,
I'm usually doing somebody else's show. Right.
Well, this morning I had to wait for the dishwasher guys. So I was seriously, if they didn't get there by 9, I was going to call you and say, guess what? I got to wait for these guys because they gave us a time of 8 to 12. But man, those guys were there at 8. Bam! I was like, nice. It took them though, and that's okay. I mean, it took them an hour and a half, I guess. And so then I got on my horse and rode over here fast to get you on. But I was worried. I was like, "Oh, Derrick's my favorite. I can't do this with Derrick."
No worries there. No worries there.
All right, who made out the best in the draft? Derrick Pearson.
It's pretty simple this year. For me, it was pretty simple in that Urban Meyer taking over a bad Jacksonville franchise.
Yeah.
To go in and grab not only the greatest ACC quarterback in history.
Yeah.
He then went later and grabbed the most productive runner in ACC history.
Yes, sir. That was a great pick. I love that.
To go
lasted that long.
Yeah, to go. Well, there's a draft day thing that folks talk about drafting running backs in the first round, and I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a valid, easy way to improve your football team is with having a runner that keeps your quarterback safe, that takes some heat off the quarterback, who makes it easier for your offensive coordinator to play call. It's much easier to call plays 3rd and 4 rather than 3rd and 6. It's just the way it works. Give me a guy that gets me 3 or 4 yards, twice in a series, and that means that third play is a little bit simpler. But they took Trevor Lawrence. Then you go and get yourself a runner, and then you fill places, you fill spots in a franchise where you just needed talent, and they just went and pulled as many all-conference guys as they could find, and you'll get them in and say, "Listen, we'll just get in and make it competitive." Iron sharpens iron, and so you make the practices better, and you go with that. So Jacksonville at the top of it. I'm still not sure what the Jets did. I'm not sure I understand what the Jets did, because they took a kid from BYU, a young kid from BYU, and put him in New Jersey. Yeah, you put him in New Jersey.
I know.
That's not Provo, Utah.
No,
that's not Draper, Utah. So he's going to have a lot to accept and settle. I think the 49ers won in taking Trey Lance. Trey Lance is just different.
Yeah.
He's just different. There are people that wanted Justin Fields there in San Francisco. I understood that. I actually thought that Justin Fields was a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. That's just me. If it was my draft board, that's who I would have taken. No big deal. And the Bears did well. The Bears went and got them a generational quarterback in Justin Fields. So I like what they did. I understand what they did. And, I would say those 3 teams jump out at me.
Right. Sorry, Billy Riley calling. I have another show right after this show. But anyway, hold on a second there, Derrick. I'm sorry. Billy Riley, I'm on the air with Derrick Pearson. What's up?
I understand that. And neither of us have a link for our 10:30.
You will.
I'm on the. I got some shit going on. So I can do it live from the road, right? This is just
well, except for you just froze up like a mug. Listen, I'll talk to you at 10:30. Bye. Anyway, sorry about that.
We're never surprised by Billy Riley. We're just not.
He's my man. He's going through a lot, and he's still grinding like a mug.
Yeah, he got stuff to do, man.
All right, so I want to hear what you think about the Washington football team. Because I heard what those guys are saying this morning. As I said, I was listening to a couple pundits this morning, and a couple of them said Washington football team is going to win the NFC East. They're going to win it because they went and got the best defensive player on the board.
Yeah, well, just remember,
not the best on the board. Dallas did that with Parsons.
Well, Parsons was a little bit of what Dallas does. They take the runner on the guy who physically has all the tools, and he may or may not have some off the field issues somehow that they feel like they can either correct or ignore. Dallas is known for bringing in defensive guys who don't always toe the line, and that's
offensive guys.
Yeah, well, Parsons was the most talented defensive player, but the best fit for Washington was a guy who was going to come in and not have off the field issues. They didn't want that. That's not what Rivera does. To get maybe the most athletic guy on the board at that position. Sideline to sideline, fits the need. You can plug him in playing behind Chase Daniels, who
oh my gosh,
or Chase Young. To put him in behind Chase Young and not have to take some of the pressure off both of them.
Yep.
He's a 3-down guy, so they're not going to have to put him, put 2 downs on the field and then put somebody else on the field. And he can run. He's a big run and hit guy. So I like what they did. They didn't went and they got a banger at left tackle. As a matter of fact, the kid from Texas was from my neighborhood when I was in Houston, So I know the kid, and he's a high quality family, high quality kid. He'll be their starting left tackle. I don't have any question about that. And then they went and got a couple of burners at wide receiver who can fill in spots. I mean, the kid from North Carolina is I can't really say, we got to go back to Santana Moss to have a guy who has burners and who can stretch the field for them. And that's, they've got McLaurin, and they went and got Gamble, and now you've got a guy on the other side who can really just stretch the field vertically, give whoever's playing quarterbacks room. I really wanted Washington to go and get an elite quarterback. I'm not going to tell Ron Rivera whether his three guys at quarterback are the right guys or not. Look, I'm not going to do that. He knows what he wants. Fitzmagic has his value.
He's steady.
Well, I mean, he can sling it. He can throw it around. He knows what he's doing. He knows the system. It's not like he's walking in. You don't have to teach him anything. No, it's just as long as he can get to the park and get to practice on time, they're not really worried about anything else. Right. So, and then of course, Taylor Heineke flashed on the biggest stage possible. That he stood toe to toe with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were going to win Super Bowl. Look, no quarterback in the league played as well against the playoff Tampa Bay Buccaneers than Taylor Heineke. So there's value in all of it. You're the defending, reigning NFC East champions. Repeating in that division is not easy.
Right.
Dallas made moves. The Giants loaded up. The Eagles improved.
The Eagles.
So it's the NFC East. There will be four teams.
Where'd Waddle go again?
Yeah, that part. I love the fact that a lot of the Alabama receivers. As a matter of fact, this year in the NFC East, to beat Washington, you've got to have some explosive guys at receiver. And the Eagles and Giants stepped up. Look, to go and get your guys. As a matter of fact, they played games and trying to figure out who was going to get these guys. Like they all wanted the same set of receivers, and they made a point to go and get them. But it's still that big nasty group of 3-4 guys there in burgundy and gold that they're all going to have to compete with. Like they better figure out how they're going to look. Dallas is loaded offensively. They have been. That's going to be the case. But the two quarterbacks in Philly and the Giants give us a little more hope that the Washington defense will be good enough to win a back-to-back division title.
Right. I think that you're right about that. I think that it's going to be I think it'll be a fun season with all this new blood coming in. And a lot of these guys walk right into a starting job. A lot of them walk right into a starting job. So, which is unusual, because usually you bring in these guys at the draft, you go, okay, great. And you see them a couple of years. You'll see them playing and whatever in a couple of years. But there's so many guys, and I think this is the trend. There's so many guys. The college level is now preparing these guys to walk right into a starting job in the NFL. I mean, these guys are ready.
This was a rare year in that the records of the NFC East last year were so bad that all of those teams were high up in the draft slots. Normally, those guys are way down. They're usually middle of the pack towards the back end of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they had single digits up there in those numbers to be able to pick, and that's what happened this year. All of the three other teams in the NFC East had high picks. They had a high volume of picks, so they could go back and move around, and they could get some additional players. Everybody loaded up. I didn't think there was a bad draft for anybody other than the Houston Texans, who have perfected the idea of being awful at the job you're tasked to do. The Texans are just awful And oh, good grief, man. Just shut
Yeah.
it down. Let him be a minor league. I don't even understand what the Texans You're not even
Yeah,
trying.
move him to Heidelberg, Germany. Just let him
Yeah,
play
yeah.
the Heidelberg, Texas.
Just send them out, man. I've never seen a team that's so dead set on just imploding itself.
Right.
It's like
right.
it's like they have on a board what's the right thing to do, and then they constantly mark through it, and then they jump on the what's wrong side and go, let's take a chance to do that.
Right.
But and they still haven't figured out what they're going to do with their quarterback. So
Yeah, I mean, it's
whatever, Houston, whatever.
So one of the other things that I wanted to address with you is really kind of interesting, and that is what about Aaron Rodgers, man? I heard this morning Terry Bradshaw said he's weak, he's a bum, for just he's just a crybaby, he's too sensitive, and Warren Moon said he's too sensitive, and I don't know why. First of all, in my opinion, I don't know why they feel like they have to say something. I mean, they're going to get these questions, but why did they have to say something? Let Aaron Rodgers do what Aaron Rodgers does. Let the Green Bay Packers do what the Green Bay Packers are doing. And, the prognosticators, yes, that's their job and everything. But I don't know. I just and then, of course, one of the prognosticators said, all the quarterbacks in the NFL are sensitive.
That's the part. That's the part. That's the prima donna position of all. I mean, look, there's no more important position in all of sports, than the quarterback position. There's more asked of an NFL quarterback than any other athlete in the world.
Right.
And then when you get to the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and there aren't that many elite quarterbacks. We don't have many of those generational quarterbacks. The Packers have been so fortunate.
Oh, yeah.
That they've gone – look, when you roll the dice and you go from Bart Starr to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, you went back and you had 3 or 4 bad quarterbacks in a bunch over 7 years, and then you got Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers to go back to back. Well, guess what? You've had it easy. Now I'm not telling Aaron Rodgers anything about what he should do because that man has been in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the bulk of his career, and I'm not telling him. He knows that area, he knows that team, he knows that organization better than anybody.
Right,
and
right.
He's making noise about that franchise. I would ask, what's going on? What's going on? And he deserves the right to state his opinion.
Sure. I mean, he's the reason the Packers have done what they've done.
Terry Bradshaw.
Put any other quarterback in that position, not any other, but if you take him out of the last several years with Green Bay, they don't win. They don't go to the playoffs. They don't win the games that they've won. I mean, he's phenomenal.
They've won 26 games in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that's remarkable. And look, and everybody, you bring in a new coach, and there's the power battle, right? Okay, you're going to do it my way, and Rodgers is like, well, look, I've been in this league longer than you have, so he's been in the league longer than his coach,
right?
Right, and he's had more success than his coach, and he was a better quarterback than his coach. So it's the thing that happened. It happens often that sometimes coaches want things done their way, and it becomes a power stroke. And let's see who's got enough to get it through. That's just their infighting. A part of me wants him to Tom Brady it and get out and see what he can do elsewhere.
Yeah, right. But he still got 2 years on his contract, man.
Well, somebody will pay that contract.
No, I know that's right.
Somebody will pay. Look. If Aaron Rodgers was available and Washington didn't offer, everything that they could possibly offer to get him, I would say it's a waste.
Right.
But he's entitled to his opinion. Look, Terry Bradshaw went through his. Warren Moon certainly went through his. I mean, gee whiz. They, they shipped him around. That guy, God bless the guy for going through what he went through.
Yeah.
But we're in the age now where if Tom Brady has to leave New England, then you can expect that every quarterback is going to have to, at least at some point, make that decision. He's going to have to make that decision on whether he wants to stay where he is. There is no right or wrong in it. It's just opinion. But Aaron Rodgers' opinion of the Green Bay Packers is relevant.
Yeah.
It's relevant.
I got you. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you, man. We got to wrap it up, and I'm back to back in it today. So
hey, man, that's the good work. That's the good work.
We got the spotlight, the superstar spotlight show, local spotlight show.
Hey, man, go handle your business. Go handle your business, brother.
Billy Riley and I will be hosting. It'll be a good show. So
go do your thing, man. Do your thing.
I appreciate you, man. You know that. You're the best. Thanks, Coach, for being with us.
See you, brother.
All right, man. Peace out. All right, everybody. Well, on the flip side, we're about to bounce it to the other side and have another show. So stay tuned.